Mm, mm. I love speaking freely so the masses can hear what I have to say about different topics that plague my mind every day. Speaking freely with Minsky Go is a show where I'm going to let all my thoughts come out and you can give your opinion too, 'cause you're speaking freely. Not only will I be speaking freely, I will be sharing my stories too. That will strike up a conversation. Speaking freely with Minsky Go is a show where I'm going to let all my thoughts come out and you can give your opinion too, 'cause you're speaking freely. Come join me, let's have some fun on Speaking Freely with Miss Gaggle.
Welcome, everyone, to the first episode Speaking Freely with Miss Gecko. Now, I got three different topics we're going to discuss. And the first topic is called When is it time to evaluate your friendships and relationship? The second one is going to be about checking your mate because it can go either way. You know, checking your mate when you find out your man cheating or your girl cheating, and you go and confront the person they're cheating with instead of the person that did the cheating, your man or your woman. That's going to be the second topic. Last topic is either going to be let go, when it's time to let go, or it's going to be about Tyreek Hill and his estranged wife. We'll see how it plays out when we get to the last topic. So let's get the show started with the first one. When is it time to evaluate your friendships or your relationship? And I've talked about this a lot. I've been live on TikTok, live on Facebook talking about it. And for you to get an understanding of what I mean, you work a 9 to 5, and at the end of, let's say, your job period, they give you an evaluation to tell you how good you're doing at the job. Well, this is basically the same thing with your friendships and your relationships. You got to evaluate it to see if these friends are worthy to keep or let go. The same thing in your relationship. Is he or she worthy to keep or you just let them go? Yep. When is the time? I say every month or so, you should do a friend checkup. You go to the doctor, you get a checkup, right? And the doctor tells you after you get your checkup, this is what's wrong. This is what you need to do to get yourself better. So you got to do the same thing when it comes to friendships and relationships because we got those friends we had around us too long that serve us no value. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You got those friends you have it could be friends you grew up with, people you have met a long time ago. They became friends, and now it's time to evaluate to see if they should still be your friend or if it's a relationship that you need to evaluate if this person should still be your woman or your boyfriend. So I say every month or so you do a friend checkup because you're gonna realize doing these friend checkups every month or so that you got friends that you need to let go. Yep, you got friends you need to let go. You might not, and you might say to yourself, "What's up, Hugh?" You're gonna say to yourself, "Should I keep this person around?" You know the saying, they're here for a season. They're there for a reason, a season, whatever how that saying go. You know what I'm talking about. So I need y'all to chime in on this. Have you ever done a friend evaluation? Because just like when E did his last show and he said there were people that he was letting go. He said there was some people that he was, that pissed him off that he needed to let go. He did his evaluation. Cause and when you gotta do one, you do a friend evaluation when you going through something. That's how you know you need to do one because you'll know which friend is gonna be there for you. If you go through a breakup because everybody tells their friend their relationship business, so you go through a breakup. And let's just say not that let's say he's abusive. Let's say the guy is abusive and you tell your friend and when it hits the straw, he really does something damaging to you because he's abusive, and your friend is not there for you when you need them. That's a traumatic situation for you to go through being with an abuse or not even you just because sometimes you gotta move them from friend to associate. That when you see them, you just say hello and you keep it moving. Because if you can't be there for me through my rough times and then expect me to be there for you during your rough times, and I'm always there for you during your rough times, and you never there for me, that's when I evaluate and say, bye. You don't get no 5-star rating like a hotel. No, you don't get no 5-star rating to stay my friend. If you can't be with me during my hard times, you know what I'm saying? And here's a scenario, here's a situation that happened that got me to this. Well, it got me to this point, right? There was a young lady who went out with a group of friends. She had no money. They wanted to go out and eat a seafood boil. This particular girl had no money. Then she knew the friends were going out to have a seafood boil. She still tagged along. Now, this is a friend group. Now, the friend she's most closest to didn't say to her, you don't have money, so don't come with us this time. Next time you got money, we'll go and we'll do a seafood boil. We'll do it again, so this time you can participate. Well, she still went. The friends let her tag along. So while they sitting there eating, she's sitting there with nothing. And one of the friends decides to videotape it for social media and put it up on social media, right? This is why I say you need to evaluate your friends. Because if you my friend and I'm there with you, even though I don't have no money to get anything to eat, why would you videotape me, put it up there for social media for clicks and views to show me in a bad light? Well, technically it backfired and showed you in a bad light, show you how you wasn't a good friend. Cause ain't no true friend of mine is gonna videotape me for clicks and views on social media. My true friend is gonna say, look, I get it, you don't have no money, We'll after we do the seafood boil, we'll come back and hang with you. That's what my true friends would say. We'll come back and hang with you, knowing you don't have no money. Why would you want to still tag along, knowing you got no money, get nothing to eat, and you want to sit and watch us eat? You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to relationships, you gotta evaluate because sometimes you get in that rut when you feel like I don't know if I want to be with her anymore or him anymore. You get in that space, and when you get in that space, that's where all the fighting starts to happen in your relationship. You might start you he or she might start accusing of cheating. Yep, you might get all of that. So when is the time? I say every month or so, you go through your friend roster, the people that you are truly friends with, that you hang out with on a daily basis, or maybe not a daily basis, but these are the people you hang out with that you speak to a lot, and see which ones are worth to stay or worth letting go. Because you don't want, because some people keep people around just to say they have a friend. Like you become friends with people just to say you got a friend when these people truly are never friends to you from the beginning. There are signs. There are signs that will show you that these people are not truly your friends. So you need to do an evaluation. I say every month or so, maybe 2 months or so. Like say right now, if you did one and you get down the list and say, you know what, this person ain't truly been a friend of me, you say, you know what, I'm gonna let them go. Then you come back, you go 2 months later, you go down the line, and then you might see some more people that ain't never been true friends to you. You say, I gotta let them go. So this is what I say: every month or so, do a friend evaluation because you can have people in your life that don't deserve to be there. That are bringing you up, gonna bring you down. You want to be brought up. You don't want to be brought down. You don't want to wait till it's too late to be like, oh, I should have been let them go a long time ago.
All right, ebook here. First of all, if y'all got any comments or thoughts on this particular topic or any of the other topics, please let us know in the comments so we can have y'all contribute to the conversation. That is definitely part of what we want to go on here on Speaking Freely. Second of all, let me chime in with my 2 cents. All right, here's the thing. Like I said, you saw my show a couple weeks ago, back when I was doing the show, and I basically started to air out all my grievances with people and just put it out there that, okay, I ain't been happy with some of y'all, and this is why. Um, I don't quite do the whole 1 month evaluation, but I definitely look at it from like a 6 month to a yearly evaluation of people. But the one thing I've come to understand over the years is that we as people evolve. In other words, the persons that we were when we first became friends may be way different than the people we are now. Perfect example. I myself, with a lot of my older friends, met them during a time where I was out and about more. I used to drink. I used to smoke the good stuff and whatnot. That's when we first met. I don't do any of those things now. I rarely go out. I don't smoke the stuff anymore. In fact, in 2 days it'll be an 8 year anniversary of me not drinking anymore. So as a result, I feel like that kind of changed people's dealings with me. I don't think it was maliciously so in some of their cases. In other folks' cases, it's like, yeah, he a lame now. I can't hang out with him because he ain't fun no more. And I understood that and I get that. So that was their evaluation. And from that, they kind of pushed themselves away from me. And at that point, it was like, okay, since you already almost off the table, bye bye. So yeah, that's part of what I get from what you're saying. But the other thing is, in terms of the relationship part, Most of us as kids never grew up having those types of conversations with adults. Like, what's it like to be in a relationship? What should I be doing? When is a good time to start being physical in the relationship? When should I decide, okay, this is the person I want to be with the rest of my life? So on and so forth. We don't have those conversations with our people for the most part, at least not in the African American community. So when it comes to relationships, I think we still just try to figure this thing out as we go along. So I think it should be a constant evaluation at that point. Because again, when you 18 and 19, do you think about what happens when that person is 50 and they got cancer and now you got to take care of them? Or do you think about, okay, it's just us two right now, but we want to mess around and have 7 kids? What does our relationship look like then? These are the types of things you should be evaluating early on, but more times than not, we don't do it till we get there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And here's another scenario to help you with this situation. So you got, how people create those group chats. Friends create those group chats, and all the friends are in the group chat, and all the friends, when they decide to want to go out, they go into the group chat to say this is where we going for Friday night, da, 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 all of that stuff. So the girl was in the group chat with her friends. One particular friend, she was telling about her relationship, like talking about her, what was going on in her relationship. Her and the guy broke up, right? Her and the guy broke up. So-called friend turns around and start dating that guy, her ex. She's telling her everything, about the guy. They break up. Now the so-called friend is dating her ex. Here's here's the part where you need to evaluate your friend, your friendships come in. So one of the friends in the friend group, it was having a birthday party, right? She tells the girl who just broke up with her ex, and the friend is now dating the ex. She tells her, "You can't come to the party because so and so and your ex is going to be there." Instead of saying, "I'm sorry that she's dating your ex now and she's supposed to be your friend," she said no. Her response to her is, "Because your ex and so is going to be there at my party, you can't come." What? How are we all supposed to be friends? And you tell me, if I'm in this girl's shoes, that because my ex and my ex friend are now dating each other, that I can't come when I was never a problem to you. The situation happened to me. So you telling me because my ex and the friend ex friend is now seeing each other, I can't come to the party because they're going to be there, when if you supposed to be my friend, you supposed to be on my side in this situation, because if we're friends, you just broke the girl code. You don't date someone's ex, especially if they just freshly broke up. You don't do that. You just broke the girl code, but now I can't come to the party because them two is gonna be there. That you supposed to be my, so it's like, so what she did was she exited herself out of the friend chat. She done moved away, so she no longer see them or speak to them anymore. That's what she did to get out of that situation. And it had me thinking, like, if you, like, really, if you my friend, yes, you're signing with the girl who's now dating my ex, and then come to find out, one of his exes reached out to her and said, he does this. This is what he does. He loves to cause friction between friends. So he'll date one friend, and when he break up with that friend, he go to the next friend to cause friction in the friend group. Exactly what he did, but she took herself out of it. She's like, you can have him. I'm moving somewhere else. I'm taking myself out of this friend group, out of the chat. You ain't gotta worry about me. And I like that she did that. Because some people will stick around and stay there and deal with and have to deal with the situation with the friend and the ex in their face. He's doing this to hurt you, and your friend don't see that. She's thinking, oh, maybe he really like me. No, he don't, because he's gonna break up with. It's a pattern with him. He's gonna break up with you, and then get with somebody else that's in the friend group, and now you gonna feel how the first girl felt when he do it to you. But she no longer in the group, so she ain't gonna care. But still, when you feel that feeling, you ain't gonna like it. You are not gonna like it. So we're gonna take a commercial break, a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna get into the second topic. But if you still could chime in on the first one, if you have anything to say about it. But we're gonna get into the second one, which is check your mate. And I will explain when we come back from this quick commercial break.
All right, y'all. This is Speaking Freely with Miss Giga. Miss Giga in the house, talking topics. Want to hear your opinions? Make sure you chime in. Let us know what you think. Till then, we'll be back after these words from Nighthawk Network. Nighthawk Network, our voices, our people.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
All right, and we are back. So, what I mean by check your mate is I see a lot of y'all getting in relationships and you find out your man is cheating, and then you go confront the girl who your man is cheating with and not your man. You arguing back and forth with this girl, your man, or it could be a guy arguing with another man about his girl, but you arguing with the other person, and the person you should be arguing with is your man or your woman. That's what I mean by check your mate. You know how to play chess. You know what you gotta do to do checkmate and win. You gotta check your mate. Stop going checking the other person about being with your man or your woman. Because the one who caused the situation is your man or your woman. You understand what I'm saying? That's who caused the problem. If you don't check them, it's gonna continue. Because I know some of you women become fools and stay with the person. And a lot of y'all do it because y'all just want to say y'all in a relationship. You just want to say you in a relationship. And the fact that you don't want to be lonely, so you gonna let it slide that he don't cheated on you with somebody or that she cheated on you with somebody. You gonna let it slide, and then it's gonna keep happening. You let it slide, it's gonna keep happening. And then that's when you're gonna get fed up and decide when it's too, and it's gonna be too late at that point. You need to check your mate. If he cheated, don't step to the girl. If she come to you and say, "Yeah, I'm sleeping with your man," just be like, "Okay," and then you step to your man and say, "Are you sleeping with so and so?" Because she came to me saying y'all sleeping together. Don't go confronting her, and don't go confronting him because the one who caused the situation is the one who's in the middle between the two of you. That's your girlfriend or that's your boyfriend. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, they're gonna continue doing it. If you let them get away with it, they're gonna continue to do it. Yep, they're gonna continue to do it. You don't want to because you think you the main chick. You don't went from being main chick now to side chick. Just think about it. You went from main dude to side dude because if your man or your woman is spending more time with the side, they done now became the main and you became the side. And this also kind of could tie along into the first topic, evaluating your relationship. Do you want to be with a man who's gonna continuously cheat on you with some woman? Or you never know, because we don't truly know our partners in the beginning when we're dating. We don't truly know them. What if your mate never told you something about themselves that they can fit in? And what if your mate could be bisexual? I'm just saying, you don't your mate could that other person could be another man in a relationship or another woman. You never know because people don't tell you everything. When they want to talk to you, when they're hollering at you, they give you their representative until they start to really get to know you. Then they start changing so that you don't realize they was giving a representative in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Just need to check your mate. Don't confront the girl. If you've been in a situation like that and you check the girl, it didn't make you feel any better checking her. Fighting her for what? For him to still be messing with her even though the two of you done fought over a dude that ain't worth fighting over? You wasted, let's say, depending on how long you and this person have been messing around, let's say a month. You wasted a month of your time with a man, and half of that month he been messing around with another woman, and you find out, you confront her. So now you wasting your time confronting her, and not confronting him. So he's like, okay, she ain't saying nothing to me, so that means I got away with it. No, you didn't. You just caused more of a problem because now she's fighting with another woman about you, and it's making her look dumb for fighting with the other woman about you. That you're gonna continue to see that woman, even though she know you messing with that woman. I'ma share y'all story. Now this is a true story. A friend of mine, he's still married. Friend of mine, he done got him aside. Now he done took his side and his wife, cause she's not the main chick, she's his wife, right? He done took his side and his wife out to dinner. Yes, together. And he basically, in his wife's face, said he's going to continue to see this woman. And I think it was Valentine's Day when they went on the date. He told her to continue to see each other. He told me that the side was pregnant and that she lost the baby. She was about to have the side was about to have his baby, and he already had two children with the wife. What up, Coach V? She already got two children by him. He done had the side and the wife at dinner together. Told her he's still gonna be messing with the side. I said, Lord, I was like, oh my God. Like That's bold. That's being bold. That's being bold to bring the side and the wife together and tell the wife in her face. And the thing is, the wife is not from. She's not from where they live at. She's not from He lives in New York. Well, not New York, but New York and New Jersey because he had two places. She's not from there, so she had nobody. So if she would have left him, she would have been alone with two children, no family to turn to because she had nobody. So I think that's one of the reasons why she continued to stay because she had nobody. But for him to be that bold and have you go out on a date and have the side come and say he's still gonna mess with her in your face, that that's just when he told me that I thought about it. I said that's bold. That's bold. It's hurtful. It's hurtful to the wife because you can't tell me you love someone and then you do something like that to them and expect them to want to stay around. But because she had nobody to go to, she had no choice. I guess in her case, she had no choice but to stay. She shouldn't have stayed. I don't know if they still together now, but at that time when he told me the story, they were still together. And I'm like, wow. And for you to be the side and go along with his craziness, to really go there to dinner, to let him and sit there and watch him tell his wife that he's going to continue to see you, like why would you put yourself through that? Like he can't be with you. He's married. Even if he left her till the divorce is finalized, he won't be able to fully have you won't be able to fully have him until the divorce is finalized. Yeah, he can see you, come see you, take you out. Y'all could do whatever, but it's gonna come to a point that you wanna be in the wife's position and be the wife. And I don't think he would have ever made her the wife. Because I'm sure another woman would have taken the side's place. If she would have became the new wife, another side would have became in the picture. That's how I see it. What you
Oh,
think about this, E?
okay, I got a few questions. First question is I always try to look at this from different angles and perspectives. Keep in mind, we have several people here in our Nighthawk network that are of the alphabet community. And what I've learned over the years of listening to people like Big Meech and, of course, rest in peace to the great H2, Laying the Hologram, the way they deal with relationships can at times be different than the standard model. So when we talk about checking your mate, do you think it should be different when it comes to people in the alphabet community, or it should just be a standard? Okay, no matter who your mate is, or what your mate is, or what sex your mate is, certain things just got to get addressed the way they need to be
Right.
addressed.
It goes across the board. To check your mate, it goes across the board. It doesn't matter if it's man with man, woman with woman. It don't matter because the situation is still the same. They cheated. He just cheated with another man on his man, or she cheated with another woman on her woman. The situation is still the same. It's just that you don't need to confront that woman your woman cheated on you with. If you're a lesbian couple, she cheated on you with another woman. You don't need to check her. You check your woman. Same thing with a gay couple. If your man cheated on you with another man, then you need to check your man. Don't go checking the other guy for what?
Okay, so now my next question is when you say check your mate, You like the poster I made? Um,
Mhm.
my question then is, when you checking that person, is that something you look to do immediately, as in that moment, or do you basically wait till you guys get along and then have that discussion?
You wait till you get alone because why? If you do, okay, you do. Let's say, okay, you do it in front of the person he cheated on you with, right? That person already told you that they already what's been going on. That's how you knew that they were cheating because they already told you the details. So you don't need to further go into it in front of the person that already told you, unless you somewhere and you just gotta get it. You just gotta get it off your chest at that moment. Then I say, okay, get it off your chest at that moment if you need to. But if y'all already at home and y'all two alone, yeah, you have that conversation and you say, look, you cheated. That's not me. I can't be with someone who cheated. It's not worth me sticking around. You want to be with that person, be with that person. And and 9 out of 10, what the person's gonna say is it was only sexual. There was no feelings involved in it. There was some kind of feelings involved in it because what made you go that way? Something had to trigger you to be like, I want to be with this person in an intimate way. Something had to trigger you. No one just decides, oh, I see a nice looking man, I just want to sleep with him. If they're in a relationship, they don't just go out and say that. Something had to entice you or trigger you to want to do it. So my advice is always check your mate before you go checking the person that cheats on you with. Because you're gonna wind up hearing things that you ain't gonna want to hear.
Okay. Now, also, when you talk and check your mate, I kind of look at a different perspective of it. Like, say, for example, you and your significant other out in public, and something happens, and they just end up just nutting up, just completely clown out on whoever they was talking to, whatever group, whatever person, what have you. Now, in your mind, based on what you know, the stuff that your mate is saying is wronger than wrong. Okay, just in your heart of heart, that person, what they saying at that moment ain't right whatsoever. At that point, do you say to yourself, okay, I need to let this person know, yeah, you wrong, boo. You actually
See,
wrong
and
right
we're
now.
in a
Or again, is that something you do once y'all get away from the situation?
no. See, if you're in a public setting and your mate goes off, let's say like your mate don't like gay people. And there's something about gay people your mate don't like that. Every time they see a gay person, it triggers them, and they come out their mouth and start going off on the gay person. That's when you, as their significant other, you pull them to the side and say, "Look, I get you don't like gay people, but we're in a public setting. You cannot go off in a public setting because you see some gay people and you don't like them. You know how many people besides you that are in here that don't like gay people, but they don't say anything. They keep it to themselves, or maybe say something across the table to their mate, and they leave it at that. They don't be out loud with it. Some people are out loud with it, and it's embarrassing to be with a person who's out loud with it for no reason. I get it. Maybe some a gay person try to come on to you, and that's why you don't like gay people. But I wouldn't take if a gay person tried to come on to you. I wouldn't take offense to that. You, as a straight heterosexual man, you should be happy that you that attracted that even a gay man would want to talk to you. Cause I'm sure in your lifetime, as a straight man, there were women who really wanted to talk to you. And to have a gay man want to talk to you, that that ups your ante when it comes to finding when someone want to be with you, because the woman's gonna see, I know he's not gay. She might think at first because she know the other person is gay, but she might think at first that, but then when she see that you turn them down nicely, like there's something about him. He's not gay, but there's something about him that now, because this person wanted him, makes him seem more attractive. You know?
Okay, I get that. I think it really depends on the situation and the circumstance. Like, for example, in that scenario where the gay person is hitting on you and you basically become irate or what have you, in that moment, I say you got to check your mate in that moment. You got to
Yes.
remember, this is 2026. We live in a world where when situations like that happen, the first thing people are going to do is not going to be like, oh, wow, why are you talking to him like that? First thing most people going to be is like, oh, wow, he going off that person for being gay? Oh, yeah, let me record this. I'm about to make them famous. And now here you is on the internet going off on this person in the alphabet community, and you already know they coming after that. Like, oh, you don't like gay people. Okay, yeah, we gonna put you out here. Now you a TikTok viral sensation for speaking what you see to be your truth. Meanwhile, your mate
Mhm.
who knows that that was going left real quick, who see the people pulling out the cameras and whatnot, that point, you're supposed to be like, come on, come with me. Nope, you can't do this.
Yeah,
I understand you
you pull
feel
them to
the
the
way you feel
side.
about it, but we in public, and right now, the spectacle you're making of yourself is going to cause a greater problem down the line. We got to get you up out of here.
There's a lot of ways that this check your mate comes into play. Is if you are out in let's say a club or a restaurant, and your mate drank too much, and now they talking out the side of their mouth to somebody they don't know, to where it gets so explosive that they ready to fight. You know your mate was wrong because they're drunk, so they coming out their mouth all wrong. That's when you pull them to the side and say, "Let's go," because there's been many situations where a man has been out with his significant other, and she's talked out the side of her mouth to where now her mate has to defend her honor and get into a fight when she was in the wrong to start with, because she's drunk and she's talking out the side of her mouth to either another man. But if it's to another girl, her and the girl's gonna wind up fighting. But if it's to another dude, now her man has to defend her honor when she was in the wrong. And you should, as a woman in a relationship, you should never put your man in that situation when you're out in public. If a man has done something to you, like if he touched you by accident, or if he's or he might or the man might be drunk and he touched you, you know, you don't go argue, don't go say nothing to him. Just walk over to your man and say, "Look, that guy just touched me. I don't want you to fight him, but just let him know he was in the wrong." Or if you tell him he was in the wrong and then the man get irate, like he want to fight you, then then I can see the situation escalating more than it should. But I would let it. He touched you if he's drunk and he's not coherent of what he's doing because he's drunk. I would just walk away, let your man know, but don't say it in a way where your man is gonna get to that point he's ready to fight. Especially if you know your man can go there just by you telling him something like that. Don't do that. Just get up, go back to your man and say, "I'm ready to go," to get yourself out of that situation. Cause there are some men who get drunk and will follow you, and then when they realize you with someone, they look at who you with, If he don't look like he, because some people could tell if the person you with is tough or not, and being that this person is drunk, they might look at him and say he ain't that tough, and still try to holler at you or in front of your man, to where now it's pissing your man off that he really want to fight. I would just say just get out of that situation. If it's you at a restaurant, you go back to your table, finish your meal, then leave the situation. If it's like a club or a bar, just leave the bar and go somewhere else. I get it, that person ruined your night, but it's better than having your man being handcuffed or fighting somebody, you know.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate and add this to the mix. Now, all that went on in the situation, right? But
Hmm.
then after y'all leave the club and whatnot, you had the discussion saying, okay, I think this happened because you wore that outfit that I told you not to wear because you was going to attract all type of extra attention, and that's exactly what happened. Now, at that point, are you checking your mate? Is your mate checking you? What plays out there?
See, I get it. That for me, I don't wear tight fitting, sexy clothing like most women do when they go to the club. I don't wear that. But there are women who do. And even they wear it when they with their man. Because they want to look sexy. They claim it's really to look sexy for their man, but it's really to look prettier than most of the girls in the club. A lot of the outfits women choose to go out and wear is so that when they get into the club or the bar, that they look better than most of the women in there. Other to impress the other women, or to make the other women feel they don't look good enough. It's never really to wear it for the man. Most of the outfits is not really to wear it for the man. And and another thing with with that type of scenario is when something like that happens. Sometimes the woman will say, "Why you didn't protect me?" She'll say that to her man because he didn't do anything. Because he knows what he can do. And he's not trying to put himself in a position to where if he beat this dude up and beat him to a pulp, who's going to jail? Not the dude. He is for beating him up. So that's why he ain't do nothing. And he know sometimes in these situations, the girl is in the wrong. Even though he goes and defends her honor, sometimes she's in the wrong.
Okay. Now, let me throw another mix in there. We're not talking about the boy and the girl. We're talking about the girl and the girl. And it happens. Now what?
Now, okay, if it's a girl on girl situation and the person who they getting into this argument with is a dude, she's not. If she if she's if she's the stud type of lesbian, she might try to stop to him like she a dude. She might, or she might just say, "Look, I'm not getting. This is another. This is a man. I, I'm not getting into no situation with no man. I can't fight no man, so I'm not gonna get into. Let's just go." And then she'll have that conversation and say, "Look, you can't. You if we go out, you can't drink the way you do when we go out because when you drink, you become another person, and that's why we get into these problems." And I know people go out to have fun, but you don't never want to put your mate or whoever you're dating in a situation like that where they gotta defend you when you was, especially when you was in the wrong. Because you don't, even though he may seem the person you got into the argument with may seem like he was alone, you never know who's there. Especially he might have some friends there with him. Could be other females that might, because he's a man and you a female, might jump in. Excuse me, might jump in to have his back because he they don't want him fighting another woman. They don't want him fighting a woman to get himself in trouble, so they jump in and stick up for him. Yep. So that's why I say when it comes to relationships, and you check your mate. You don't want them to put you in any situation that's gonna put you in a bad position. Because I'm sure there's been plenty of times where the person puts you in a bad position, and the outsiders looking in see you as the bad person. They'll say like your girl was drunk, she got put you in a situation, and now the outsiders looking in because you had to defend her honor. You beat somebody up. Now they see you as this, as they see you as an abusive person, not knowing that she was the cause of the situation, but because they see what you did to that person, they see you now as an abusive person, and they're thinking to themselves, she better not piss him off because he might do what he did to that person to her. We gonna go into another commercial break, and we're gonna get into this last topic. And I might be able to fit both because one of my topics was let go, and it ties into like the first question, first topic, and then the other one was Tariq Hill, the football player. If you know Tariq Hill, the football player, he played for the Miami Dolphins. His estranged wife got scolded by the judge because she done took his money that he been giving her and bought herself a Bentley when she done took him to court to ask for more child support. And the judge saw that she bought that expensive Bentley was like, no, you're not gonna get it. So when we come back from this commercial break, we can talk about both. Cause I had that. Well, we'll talk about the Tyreek Hill situation first, and then if there's a little bit more time, we'll talk about letting go. Because that situation right there is the reason why a lot of men don't wanna pay child support, because these women are spending money on them and not the child. So we're gonna take this commercial break and we're gonna get into that topic.
If you're building your dream from scratch, mic in one hand, hustle in the other, this one's for you. Road to Stardom Network and Nighthawk Network present a podcast for the indie by the indie, all genres, all grinds. From hip-hop to metal, jazz to trap, we're breaking boundaries. And it's not just artists. Entrepreneurs, creatives, and self-made bosses, we see you. We're giving you the spotlight. This ain't mainstream, this is your stream. Coming soon. Be ready.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing darlings. With Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
right, y'all. So I saw this post like hours before the show, before I was gonna do the show, and it said judge scolds Tyreek Hill's estranged wife for buying a Bentley. Yes, for buying a Bentley. Now he pays 5.5K in child support. She wants to up that to 38K. So he pays 5.5K in child support. She wants to up that to 38K. Right? And he's already paid a lot of money out because he got lawyer fees to pay and all this stuff. He's giving her a car stipend. I guess money for her to get a car. He's been giving her money for her to get a car. And the car she chose, y'all, was a Bentley. Judge scolded her for getting the Bentley. But here's my thing on this situation. This is why most not all men, but most men in these situations don't want to pay child support. Because these women are using it more on themselves than on the child. Right? So we know it's a lot to take care of a child. But what child needs 38K? When you think about it, what child, if this is what she's getting monthly, there's 12 months in a year. So for 12 months, she's going to, if the judge would have approved it, for 12 months, she will be getting 38K. What child needs 38K? As far as child support, this is how I see it. As far as child support goes, you need enough that's going to cover their living expenses, meaning that make sure that the mother has enough to cover rent so they won't be kicked out. If they go to a private school, that the tuition for the private school is paid for, depending on how old your child is. If your child is in high school, the same. If it's a private high school, the same thing. If they're in college, you pay their college tuition. And give the money for necessities for food, clothing, and all that stuff. And that's all you need your child support money to go to. Child support is for the child and not for you as the parent who's receiving the child support. See, a lot of y'all think because you're dating athletes, you're dating musicians, a good amount of money that you think that, oh, I could say, give me 20,000, and I'll use half for the child and the other half for me. No. All that amount of money you get goes directly to that child. What I think they should do for child support, and let me know if you agree with me, E, is you know how rich families do a trust that let's say if mommy or daddy dies and they leave us a trust where their money, they leave us their money and it goes into a trust and we can get it till we're a certain age. Some is like till you're 18. Some is like they do to like you're 25. I think they should do a trust for child support. That the father, the money he gives every month, goes into a trust for the child, and the money can only be taken out for necessities. Meaning, if the child needs clothing, you can take money out to buy them some clothing, but you have to show receipts that you bought clothing. And the people from the trust keep a record of the receipts showing on this day you took out this amount of money for this, and it has a receipt to go with the amount of money you took out. The same thing with if you're gonna buy food for the child, the receipts showing you bought this so that they know the money's going where it's supposed to go. Because there's been situations where women have been taking the child support money, going to get their hair and nails done. I need sneakers for Javon, and they give you sneaker money, but you're using that sneaker money to get your hair and nails done for you to go out to the club. And then when you don't get the sneakers, now you're going back again and saying, "Oh, I need some more money for Javon to get sneakers." You're like, "I just gave you money for sneakers." Well, that wasn't enough for the type of sneakers I was getting Javon. So what they do, some men, not all, will go get more money, but it's not that she's spending it on herself and not the child. And I see where men get frustrated. And in some cases, these women say, "Well, if you don't give me that money, I won't let you see your child." And they use the child as a pawn to get what they want. And because the men want to see their child, they do whatever they say. And in this case with Tyreek Hill, it said he was paying 5.5K in child support. She wants to up it to 38K. Not only he was so they live in a condo. Her and the child lives in a condo that he pays 20K a month for. He's paying he's the one paying to keep them in the condo. And that's 20K a month. On top of him paying lawyer fees and stuff like that. They said that Bentley cost her 196K. That Bentley was 196K that she brought, that the judge scolded her about. You talking about up the child support to 38K, but then you go and buy a Bentley? Of all cars to buy, you decide a Bentley when you could have just bought you a regular, but she's not. See, in her mind, she's not regular like we are. I'd buy me a Nissan Maxima. That's a reliable car. She think because Tyreek make all this money that she can get whatever she want. She's still his wife because the divorce is not finalized. So she's thinking whatever money he gives, she could use that for herself and the child. But he's giving you this money for the child. He's paying the rent so that y'all don't be evicted. He don't want his child evicted from where they live. So that's why he's still paying that 20K a month. And what other expenses that pertains to the child, that's what he's paying. He's not paying to keep you accustomed to the lifestyle. Because if it wasn't for him being a football player, you wouldn't be having no condo. You wouldn't be able to afford that Bentley. It's all because of what he does for a living, you able to afford all this stuff. And once y'all divorced, if depending on what state y'all in, if they don't make him pay alimony, then you or spousal support, that means once your divorce is finalized, you get nothing but the child support that is for the child. And I'm sure the judge is going to stipulate to make sure that that money goes for the child. But because who she's married to, she think, oh, she get to get his money. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. In LA, if they was in LA, she would get half of everything. But they're not. I don't think they're in LA. I think they live in Miami. And I don't know what the law is in Miami when it comes to that. But she thinks she gonna get all his money.
Okay, can I jump in
Okay.
here now?
Yeah, you can jump in.
All right, now understand we could literally talk about this for hours. It's several different aspects to this thing, and we just don't have the time to fully get into it like that. I will say some of the basics. First of all, I've actually studied child support Keep in mind, at one point in time, I was considering going to law school. And because of that, there were a couple people in my existence that was like, okay, well, look at these books and, kind of learn some stuff and go from there. And one of the books that I was privy to have was about family law. So in that, I learned, first of all, the general principle of child support goes back to the 70s. Nixon, I believe, was the president that administration set up child support as we know it today.
Mhm.
What happens is the scenario was that when you were a father with a mom and you guys were together, not necessarily married, but together, and for whatever
Mhm.
reason or rationale, that relationship no longer was valid and worked out, but you still produced at least one child from that, the court saw fit to make it to where it was fair for the child to be in an environment that was similar to the environment from which they came from. So remember, back in the 70s, a lot of people were in scenarios where, okay, this is the dad, he is the breadwinner, he is making the
Mhm.
money and what have you. This is the mom, more times than not, the mom was a stay at home mom, where her primary job was to take care of the children. What happens is suddenly now daddy says he don't want to be bothered with you no more. So at that point, he's gone to live his life. And here you are, mom, who ain't never had a job because you basically spent your life taking care of kids. Now you are left to find some means of income. Courts didn't feel that to be fair, so that's why we come with child support, where you, as the person with the money, are supposed to provide the person who is the custodial parent, which was usually the mom, enough money to have that child live in a situation similar to what they were comfortable in living before. So that is why some people only pay 50 and 100, because in the end, if y'all both were struggling, but now you gone and the struggle is real, you at least supposed to share part of your struggle money with that person to help take care of the child. On the other hand, if you was a multimillionaire and the wife was just stay at home mom, now she don't have no skills and whatnot. She's not able to work because she's still taking care of the child. But here you is living high off the log, eating steak every day, while the kid over there eating pork and beans and hot dogs. Court said no, that ain't right. So that is why, in some cases, like, okay, well, your child is used to being a millionaire child. Your child goes to expensive daycare and get drove around and whatnot. Your child should still be living that lifestyle, even though you are no longer in the home. That is why those people pay more money than basic person A. Now let's go back to the whole Tyreek Hill situation. What happens is Tyreek Hill marries this young woman during his first few years in the league, where he was making some money, but just a little money. Now, fast forward 10 years later, Tyreek Hill is one of the highest paid players in the league. Meanwhile, the wife is still at her current status. So when they first made the determination, that was based on what he was making at the time. Now he's making considerable more money. So the wife, the estranged wife at this point, figures, okay, well, you got a raise, I should get a raise. You be getting more money, I should get more money. It's an argument there, true enough. But here's the real problem that Rhoda is talking about. In the end, the primary focus of said child support is for supporting said child or children. In the case of Tyreek Hill, because of course, as I recall, Tyreek Hill has 10 children. So keep in mind, he's not only paying child support to this individual, but to several others as well. So that is why one of the arguments is, I can't pay her that money. I got all these other kids I got to support too. Two, again, support of the child. The child does not need a Bentley, okay? Child should not even be in a Bentley. Bentley, in terms of safety and protocol and whatnot, probably a decently safe vehicle, but not as safe as say a minivan or something along them lines. That would be more comfortable for having a child be in it. So yeah, that's the type of vehicle she should be investing in. But no, I got to ball out. In the end, yeah, reason why a lot of males get upset about having to pay child support is because in the end it's not supporting the child, it's supporting that household. And more times than not even that household. That money ends up getting spent more on the person that took you to court as opposed to the person who went to court for. So the kid's not even getting the money. There's an argument now out there that says, okay, now that tax season is coming and they file these taxes and people get the tax credit, most of the time that money goes to the custodial parent, which is the mom, and the dad gets none of it. But in the end, if he is contributing to that minor by paying child support by rights, he should be able to receive some of that money or at least be able to claim that child jointly to get part of that money. And that's going to be talked about at some point in the Supreme Court sometime this year, I believe. But now, long story short, again, child support should be for the child. And yes, I do agree that if you are a child that goes to private school and all of that, and is used to eating steak and lobster every day, you still should be getting enough money for you to still do that if your parent can support that. But in the end, that's for you, not your mama, not the other kids, because sometimes they be that also. I really don't understand how you got four parents and then you got the mama and they all four kids got different daddies and all different daddies pay different amounts. That ain't right. That ain't right. I mean, I understand in some cases that the one daddy could afford more than the other daddy, but in the end, okay, so yeah. So your daddy work at Chrysler, so I get to eat lobster, but your daddy work at McDonald's, so you just got to eat McDonald's. That don't work for me.
Yep.
Again, like I
Child
said, I can
support,
go on and on. I'm just gonna leave it there and let you continue.
yeah. Child support, like I said, is for the child. And if you got more than one child and it's not, they don't have the same daddy, please stop thinking the man with the most money is supposed to take care of that other child as well just because the other father ain't there. Stop thinking that. Let's use Tyreek as the man in that situation. If you got one child with Tyreek and another child with some dude named Bill, stop thinking Tyreek got to take care of Bill's child just because he with you.
Right, and yeah, for the record, yeah, Tyreek does have baby mamas that have other children.
No, I'm just using in this part. I'm just using his name, but I'm just saying, like, because there are women who have other children and expect the new man who they got a child with to take care of the other. I get it. If you with her and you're gonna be with her for the long haul, that you're supposed to take care of everybody. Yes, he's going to do that as a man. He will do that, but it's not his obligation to take care of your other children. It's not his obligation. Yes, if a man get with a woman who got children and they're not his, it is not his obligation to take care of them. The man who had those kids with you should be taking care of them. So don't get mad just or y'all do have a child together. If he decides to come over and bring something for his child, you can't get mad and say, why you didn't bring for my other children? No, they are not his responsibility. When y'all were together, yes, he as a man he took care of all of y'all. But once the relationship is over, his only priority and responsibility is to the child y'all share together. If the other men do not want to be in your child's lives or in your life, they want to be because there's some men who want to be in their child's life. They just can't stand being around the mother, and that's why they're not around their child like that. And then plus, a lot of these women like to use their children as pawn in the situation. Like if you don't do this, then you won't be. I'm not letting you see your child. Case in point, if you ever seen Tyler Perry's show For Better or Worse, that is a situation where He thought he was the father, and he's paying her money, and she's getting on his nerves as the baby mama. And when the child gets hurt, and they had to do a blood transfusion because the child got hurt, and the doctor pulled him to the side and said, "You're not the child's father." And the mother knew that the whole time because he was an ex football. Because he was at the time that they got together, he was a football player. He got hurt. He no longer played football. He transitioned into sportscasting, and she knew he wasn't the father. And because he was making all that money, she used him to get all that money, knowing he wasn't the father. So there are women that are like Keisha, and that if you ever watch that show, that are like Keisha, that will tell you if you don't do this, you don't do that, you can't see your child. That's why you take them to court and make sure you got proof of everything to prove that you've been trying to be there as a father and she won't let you. Because 9 out of 10, sometimes the judges do side with the woman, and I would hate for the judge to side with her, knowing she's in the wrong. So the last one, I was saying letting go. It goes along the lines of the first topic, evaluating friendships. But this is what I mean, letting go. But here I'm talking about relationships. Because we stick around too long in relationships we know we need to no longer be in. All for the fact to say we're in a relationship. Doesn't matter what the reason was, what the person did, doesn't matter. You know it's time to let go. You're holding on because you want to just say, I'm in a relationship. Knowing that it's hurting you more than it's hurting them by you sticking around. It's hurting you more than it's hurting them by you sticking around. Think about it. If the reason, your reasoning is he cheated or she cheated, but you one of those people who are like, well, I'm gonna stay because I want to say I'm in a relationship. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself, right? You're truly hurting yourself. Just like a person who's in a depressed mode, and some people who get depressed. You ever you know people who got problems who they slice their wrists. They have that habit of they have habits of like either they're not trying to kill us, but like they do something to themselves because it makes them feel better than to deal with what they have to deal with. So they do things to themselves. By you sticking around this relationship, you're making yourself crazy. Because now you're gonna get to the point, like I said, about checking your mate. When your mate does something wrong, you're gonna get to that point that now instead of checking your mate, you're gonna be arguing and fighting with the person he's cheating on you with, making yourself even more crazy. And he's gonna look at you and say, "See, this is why I did what I did. You crazy." He gonna start calling you crazy, even though you ain't crazy. He drove you to that point, but because the way you acting, he's gonna see it as you being crazy. So now he's gonna start calling you that, but you sticking around because you just want to say that you're in a relationship. Even when your friends tell you your man's doing you dirty or your girl's doing you dirty, you still sticking around. No man or woman is worthy of your peace. No man or woman is worthy of your peace. You need your peace. Don't let no one take your joy away, your peace. Don't let no one do that just for you to say, I have love, or to say you in a relationship. Don't let them take anything that makes you happy away, because by you letting them take it away, you're putting yourself in a depressive mode. Because when it gets bad, what do? You say, I can't eat, I can't sleep. Don't let them get you to that point. You wanna know when your heart hurts, then it's time to let it go. And right now, there's some of your relationships that you need to let go, because you may not see what he's doing to you behind your back, but other people are seeing it. They not telling you because they them type of people that say, "Well, I don't want to get involved." That's their relationship, right? And what's crazy is those people who say, "I don't want to get involved," they go and tell other people to get involved, and that don't make sense to me. It's like you saw what he was doing. You don't want to tell her what he was doing, so you tell somebody else so they can tell her what he was doing. But you knew, and then when that person tells them that you knew, it's like, I thought you, my friend, I thought you were on my side. Like, when it's time to let go, let it go. Stop holding on to it just because to say you have love, or just to say you have a relationship. Because the person who's supposed to be for you, you're not giving them a chance to be for you because you holding on to something you should have let go. That woman or man who's supposed to be in your life for long term is not gonna. It's okay to be alone. I know you hate to be alone. It's okay to be alone. You was born alone, right? When you was born, you was alone. You went to college. When you went to college, you was alone. But you had a roommate, of course, but still you was alone. You was dealing with college and school and stuff. You was dealing with it alone, right? So why can't you be alone when it comes to a relationship? Why you always gotta have a man or woman by your side? You need to learn to love yourself, because loving yourself is more important than being with someone you shouldn't be with. Loving yourself is more important. So that is the last topic, and I appreciate y'all joining in on the show. Be back next Sunday with some more topics. If you have a topic you think should be discussed on the show, you can hit me up through social media. You'll see my Instagram is Road to Stardom. It's TWO. So whenever you see Road TWO, that's my social media pages. That's Instagram. That's X, even Twitter, uh, um, Facebook. You can hit me up through the Road to Stardom page on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Road to Stardom. When you see that page, you can send me a message through there with your question or a topic you think we should discuss. Or if you're on TikTok and you want to send me a message, it's just regular Road to Stardom. So when you see TWO Road TWO Stardom, that's me. If you see Road TWO, that's me. And we'll be discussing 3 topics, and you could chime in, especially if you gave me a topic, chime in. So just think about the first topic, evaluating your friendships and relationships, because I'm sure when you think about it, you're gonna realize there's some people you need to let go. And letting the last one, letting go, also coincides with that. And that's when you're gonna realize you need to let him go or her go. And if they try to come back in your life, don't let them back in. If they try to come back, don't let them back in. And check your mate. If you've been in a 20-year relationship with somebody, if you've been in a long term relationship, I wouldn't say let it go that easy. Try to fix the broken cracks in the foundation if you can. If the cracks can't be fixed, then that's when you know it's time to let it go. For those who's been in a long term relationship, I wouldn't say just let it go that easy. Try to fix the broken cracks in the foundation, and if the cracks keep breaking more and can't be fixed, that's when you know it's time to let it go. I will see you next Sunday, and I will see you this Tuesday for the Indie Experience podcast as well. So I'm gonna say peace, one love. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out of here. E, put the theme song on.
I love speaking freely so the masses can hear what I have to say about different topics that plague my mind every day. Speaking freely with Men's Ego is a show where I'm going to let all my thoughts come out and you can give your opinion too, 'cause you're speaking freely. Not only will I be speaking freely, I will be sharing my stories too, that will strike up a conversation. Speaking freely with Men's Ego is a show where I'm going to let all my thoughts come out and you can give your opinion too, 'cause you're speaking freely. Come join me, let's have some fun on Speaking Free.